Hiya folks, it's me. Just wanted to do a quick video. It's been blistering hot here today. The temperature's reached 33 degrees. It's very rare in this country, but don't worry, tomorrow it's raining again and thunder and lightning. And I just got 4 CDs through the post, and I knew they were coming because obviously I ordered them, but they're basically Ozzy Osbourne's first 4 CDs. And if you look, it took me, was it my last video but one, a couple of Ozzy tracks was on it I didn't care for. And when people ask me what was Ozzy's best work, the CDs I'm going to show you, to me, are them. And they're the first 4 Ozzy CDs. Because of time constraints, I'm only concentrating on the first one, which was a Blizzard of Oz. I'm not going to concentrate on the other 3, because otherwise it'll go nuts. But this is Blizzard of Oz, and we'll be seeing more of that one in a second. And the next one being Diary of a Madman. I hope I got these in the right order. I'm sure I have. I have, yes. Basically, got this one. I always go by the guitarist who played who on each. That's how I remember them. Then, last but not least, you got this one. The next album after this was No Rest for the Wicked. It's an album I've never really cared for. I don't like it at all. It's because of Zakk Wylde and all this stuff. Just watch my last video. I talked about it. But this is the album we're talking about. This came out in 1980 in the UK and 1981 in the States. I've not got clever all of a sudden, because I have read the inner line, but I do know what I'm telling you. I've known for quite a long time. But yeah, this is, to me, a seminal album. In the Billboard charts, they voted it the 9th greatest heavy metal album ever recorded. And to me, it's about right. It will definitely go in the top 10 of greatest heavy metal albums ever. The reason for it being, it was recorded in Surrey. Ozzy had just left Sabbath, and he sort of holed up in his hotel. I'm only paraphrasing, off his head on various substances and alcohol. Then he met Sharon, and so on and so on and so on, and he went back to work again. He still retained the Sabbath roots because he had a 4-piece band. And this album means so much to me, so do all these 4. And basically Ozzy went back to work, and it makes me feel old because I used to pick these albums up when they came out, except for this album, because when this album came out I was living in Lincolnshire. Then in 81 I moved to Telford, where I am now, and I used to go up to a place in Birmingham where Ozzy was born in the UK, called Virgin Records, and I used to pick up Ozzy's album. I used to pick up Wasp and Motley Crue and them bands when they came out, and that's why I've got them all on vinyl. So all these 4 records, I've got them on vinyl. And it was always bloody cold, a bit of snow on the ground, and for a little lad it was like a nightmare. And you should, like half an hour on the train. Then you used to, it's a huge record store, and the records there were a lot cheaper. And I remember I got one of the Ozzy albums with the badges in. It's a Major League collector's item now, but I actually opened mine like an idiot. And what they did was, when they were packing it, they filled it up with it, because Ozzy used to put a little patch in with his vinyl. I'm sure it was Unforgettable Sin. And what they did was, they put literally hundreds of badges in the record. It looked like a cushion. And I just gave all the patches away. Little did I know then, I wasn't really a consummate record collector. I just bought them to play. It was a media of music, but I got one of the rare ones. I feel sick now because that's worth about I think it goes for about £300 to £500. But I actually got one, so I was proud. So anyway, I used to trape up to Birmingham, when I had some money in my pocket, where Ozzy came from. And I used to love Ozzy. I love Sabbath, and not so much Priest, but I'll do that in a later video. There's a story behind that as well. But I absolutely loved Ozzy, and these are his seminal four, the first four. The best being the first, Blizzard of Oz. Now this record came out in 1980, and to me it's got one of the best starts on any album. I don't care what anyone says. It's also got one of my favourite heavy metal tracks of all time. I don't know. What's the future of mankind? I don't know. I got left behind. To me, it's the greatest lyric on any heavy metal song. I absolutely love it, and that's my favourite song off this album by a long shot. Also, what I like about it, Greg, it's got a killer riff. The intro it'll go down as the best intro to a heavy metal record, because that Randy Rhoads riff is amazing on that track, and it's very, very raw as well. This whole album is. I don't know if you've noticed, but that riff, then you get I Don't Know Why, and he starts singing. It's just a killer start. The second track was Crazy Train. Everybody knows that song, but that was the first single taken off this record. It was Ozzy's first single. Goodbye to Romance was like a kiss goodbye to his Black Sabbath bandmates. I don't really rate that song. It's a bit sentimental for my taste, but I'll take it over Mama any day of the week. The next song I want to do is, because it's going to take some time otherwise, I am skipping a few tracks. Suicide Solution. This record was recorded the same year Bon Scott died, and that song was about Bon Scott basically, and it got Ozzy into some serious trouble at a later date in California. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it, but the case got thrown out of court. That's why you don't see it on any of later Ozzy concert albums or anything like that. He never performed it again after that. But if you look at the earlier Ozzy concert albums, Suicide was always on that. Unless they're remastered and it's been removed, they're all on mine anyway. But Suicide Solutions, to be honest, was never one of my favourite tracks off this album. I've never really liked it. The next one is Mr. Crowley. Now, Jimmy Page, bless him, in Led Zeppelin, he's a Crowley fanatic. He collects everything under the sun. And basically, Ozzy knew one of the roadies, or they had a connection anyway. And that's how this song came. It was something to do with a book. I think he mentioned it, and that's how they basically wrote the song. It was something around the lines of that. If anybody's got more knowledge than me, stick it down in the comments. That's how I understood it. And it's just a killer song, Mr. Crowley is. And again, that was the second single, and that got him into a bit of trouble as well at a later date. Now, no Bone Movies. I don't like that song at all. Revelation, not bad. But a good track off here is Steal Away the Night. That's a great song. But the previous two, Revelations, not bad. But the one I don't like is No Bone Movies. And it's just a killer release. And I'll show, I mean, we've all seen the cover, but in case anybody's new to metal or watching this thinking, what should I start with? Basically, it was Randy Rhoads was on the guitar, and you know, he's just awesome. It's just fantastic. But that's the cover. But these records mean so much to me. And you know, it's like a young metalhead. And I'm just shocked. It was 40 years old. This record is now. It's just frightening. I remember buying the other three like it was yesterday. It was like I'm talking about 40 years ago. And there's the booklet. Also with these records, there's loads of lawsuits flying around because people didn't get credited with writing the songs and stuff like that, and there was a lot of trouble about. But yeah, it's just a great band. Ozzy had a good band, and yeah, just a phenomenally good album. But then came the next three, and sadly, Randy Rhoads died in '82. This was the second release, Diary of the Madman, and the third release was then Jakey Lee got on this one, Bark at the Moon, and the big hit was a Bark at the Moon itself off this one, And I mean, the covers, to be honest, on Aussie albums are a bit cheesy, but they were good. You know, they're sort of you always see Aussie in some pose, and they make me laugh, but in a nice way, if you know what I mean. I just absolutely love them, and just great albums. Absolutely fantastic. But this is a good one, and I think they were having a, what's it called, the Wizard of Oz is a cracking title for a record as well. Another group that got the Wizard of Oz was Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, and that's how that all came about, but I'm not going into that. But yeah, this record just means so much to me. Oh, sorry, my phone's gone. I will say goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video.